You saw that right. I'm not pregnant. That's a belly, and it's got to go. So, for all you out there who have similar situation as me, and it may not be a big belly, it could be you have problems with your knees, you have problems with your ankles, your feet, your back, anything, and you're having a hard time getting on treadmills and doing similar activities. I came up with an idea, something I'm going to do. I think it'll work because it takes not too much physical activity, but you're going to get some movement to your legs and knees and things of that sort, and your balance. And what it is, here's what it is right there. E-bike. It has the power to move you along. You don't have to do it all yourself. I've already got this put together, and I'm kind of doing this in reverse. I'm going to show you how to put this together, how to build it, and then in the next video we'll show you out there what it looks like with an old fat man riding it. And hopefully you can follow along with me and watch me lose some weight, because I'm dead serious about this. I got grandkids we adopted, and they want me to be alive for a while, so I decided, well, I better do something about this big old belly. Do this as exercise for starting off. You know, maybe eventually in the future I'll get just a regular bike, but for now I need something that's going to help me a little bit, because my knees and ankles just don't work too well. Very difficult to walk on treadmills and to get out in the yard and walk around. When you're in a lot of pain, it wears you out fast. So I'm thinking something like this will help us along, but there's not a whole lot of data on this, so I'm going to be the data. I'm going to be the guinea pig. Get out there and ride this thing for a while and see if it actually works, and see if this is a form of exercise that older people and people with certain health issues can use, you know, to get back into it, get their bodies working again. We're going to give it a try, so follow along. After many months of researching, I settled for this bike here. This is from Wallke company, Wallke E-bikes. And just like everything else, I always go overboard. I always got to try to get the biggest and best of everything. What I did is about the 60 amp all-wheel drive all-terrain bike. This thing should have plenty of power to move me around, so I'm excited about it, and I'm just going to do a little opening here, and we'll just take it one step at a time. And as we get to the pieces and parts, I'll explain what they are and what they do. I think I got an idea how I want to open this thing. I've seen people struggle with these things. They always have protective packaging in them. We'll go this route. Hopefully we don't do any damage on the inside here. That was easy enough. Now, I want to make sure I'm not going to hit. We got styrofoam right there. So I'm going to go right up here in this corner, far to the corner as I can go. Yeah, not even coming close to anything here. So if anybody's curious whether this is going to work or not, I went right down the edge of this, where I basically was just on the other side of the 2-ply wall, on both sides and on the ends, and that just caused that flap to go right up. And I looked down in here and I can see there's some really thick styrofoam in there, so I'm not going to hit it with a little utility knife. So I'm just going to go right up the edge of this too. I've seen people do this, they fight with these things. I don't think you really have to. Bam! There it is. Exciting. So, I'll start pulling off some of this packaging. I'm not going to bore you guys with all the pulling the pieces out and stuff. But I'll show you basically what I'm doing when it gets to the parts, putting them together. A little bit harder to open, but that wasn't bad at all. I'm going to take a second here and I'm going to go get some side cuts so I can snip right through these. I'm just going to use some side cuts here. Looking to see if it was easy enough to just undo these, but it would take me all night long to do that. There's our handlebars. Ooh, they look nice. Okay, that's just loose on there for now. Looks like it was packaged really well. I don't see any damage. There's our front wheel. 20-inch tires, 4-inch wide. These are CST BFTs, 20 by 4.0. I am going to be putting flat out in these. Sorry about the butt shots. Here's our seat. It's pretty nice. It says Wallke right on it there. Nice thickness to it. I don't know if I have to change that out or not. Might want something springier, I'm not sure, but it's got suspension on the back of this bike, suspension on the front and back. So it should be cushy enough, fully cushy enough. I can tell right now I didn't get my free gifts with this. This is supposed to come with a helmet, and it's supposed to come with a rear rack, the back seat. This just has these couple screws I think you loosen up and slide it right in there. Slides right into these holes right here. 203 millimeter front and back. See what we got in the boxes here. Headlight pedals. Looks like some instructions. Pretty nice. Instructions, a wrench, Allen keys, another wrench, 15 millimeter and 19 millimeter. 15 millimeter and 19 millimeter. All right, I put the left pedal on. There's a reverse thread on the left pedal. From what I understand, the right pedal is not. All right, I want to get a little closer here, show you how this works. This is the first time for me on this. When you bring that up, you got to make sure this little piece right here grabs the hold. And then it'll clip over on this side. Hear that click? Now you're in solid there. Now it's in solid. Now what I'm trying to figure out is it seemed like my handlebars are tight. Let's see. Get these boogers in there. How tight that is. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get the battery out at this point and get it charged. Let's see what they gave us here. Oh, got a fan on it. 8 amp, 54.6 volt, 8 amp. That's the big boy. I'm gonna go ahead and get this battery out and get it charging. So this, if it's locked, put the proper key in here and turn it 2 clicks to the left. I had to actually hold my phone away for a second. You gotta push it in and turn to get it out. And then, I think it's back. Yep, slides right out of there then. Slides right out then. Well, just to save you guys a little trouble, I thought there was no charge port on this thing, but it's hidden behind this little panel right here. You pop that up on the side, and you just push your 3-pin charger right in there. Okay, so the charger went red, it was green, and the fan kicked on, at least temporarily. Here's to be charging, 8 amps. It's excellent. Rarely ever see an 8 amp charger with these. Very happy with that. So what I'm running to right now is this brake cable appears to be a little bit too short for me to get that handle, to get the handlebars in there. So I'm just going to look through the instructions. Okay, they're saying we need to put the handlebars on while it's in the down position. So I'm going to move it around this way. Turn it the proper direction. That may make sense. There's a little groove in the back of this. It has to go in. There it goes. That's how you do it. It's all the way down right now. Okay, make sure that's in the position to grab right there. It snaps right in. There we go. Wow. It's beating me up, but I'm getting it. All right, at this point, I'm actually going to look at the directions. So we did the handlebar. The battery is charging. We have not put the seat on yet. But front wheel's next, and they want us to flip this over on its back. That's why I pulled the battery out. Because I've seen that in videos as well. So I'm going to put the seat on. The battery's already out. We're going to flip this on its back so we can get the wheels on. Back wheel on. All right. Unlatch that. This has got a quick release on the seat. I did buy a lock for the seat, just for that reason. I'm going all the way short first. This bike is recommended, since it's the 60 amp, it's got it up a little higher. So it's recommended for people 5'10" and up. And I was 5'10" when I was in high school, but you know, gravity and a little bit of bone shrinkage, I might be a little shorter. So probably almost all the way down is going to be where I need to be. So we're getting ready to flip this on its head. So I'm going to pause this just for a second so I can get some help to get this flipped over. You should, just to show why you should read directions on the handlebar, it's a quick release. It was latched, that's why I couldn't get it in. So anyhow, I'm going to tighten this back up now, and we'll use the quick release for the handlebars at this point. There we go. Locked in. All right, let's pause this. We got to remove this temporary bar they got in place here. We're going to put our wheel in place. Thing I wanted to say, I should have said from the beginning, is you don't want to pull the brakes, because these are hydraulic brakes, and I guess you could run into some trouble with your brake pads here. So we didn't do that, fortunately. But we're going to learn the hard way on some of this other stuff. All right, I need to pull off the nut. There's that special washer that's got a groove in it that locks it in place. This one I believe stays. Do that on both sides here. This in place, get the washers off. Don't know the names of them. I should look it up, but I'm not going to. This is what you pull off temporarily. Now these have to go back on once we get this in place. It'll go this direction. Another thing I had to live and learn is there's slots. There's slots in this, and of course you got to have it going up and down to fit down in there. And make sure you go in between your brake pads there and the caliper. I think I called these calipers. These are rotors here. 203 millimeter rotors. This is the caliper, and that part's in. Now we're going to get these funky house-shaped washers in here. I point out too, you see those washers? You want those on the innermost side here, on both sides. Then your cable should be sticking upward out of that hole right there. And I'll show you what we got to do with that here next. These got to go on next. And I believe the Allen nuts, so it'll be in the up position. These come apart, they'll slide together. But I'll show you how they go on here in just a minute. Hold down here for a second. This goes in here. I don't really know how that's going to do that, but Get your little nuts back in here. I don't really see how all that's going to fit, but we're gonna find out. Okay, these are the anti-rotation washers and axle nuts. And you got to get this little slot in that groove right there on both sides. This slides in there like that. Then you put the nut on it, which pushes that all in together, I guess. Get my 19mm. I've seen others complain that there's not enough thread there. I got enough thread on this one. If this is supposed to be locked down first, I wouldn't think so. Maybe it is. All right, those are snug. Now let's snug this guy up. Go back to the other side. It doesn't really say one way or the other. I don't think you can get it wrong. It's ambidextrous. Oh, I forgot. I forgot on this one, you do have to take off this top, because you got to get this wire down in it. It ain't gonna go. You can't just squeeze it in there. So you got to take off the little top piece, which means you got to loosen these up enough. If I'm sweating, it's just because I like you.
Don't flirt with the viewers. Oh.
All right.
They're most likely minors.
Oh, for e-bikes? I don't know.
On your channel, you have.
Oh, don't do that. What I just did.
Oh no.
I get it.
Oh, hi, cat.
Oh, do it. No, I found it. So, you can drop it if you want to, but I would.
It's optional.
Yeah, it's optional. I would try not to, because it'll save you a little bit of time.
Get very close up in here.
Can you even see?
Yes.
You see, I'll show them this here. This is why you have to take this top piece off, because this cable will not go through unless you do that. Because the end is too wide. That's why these things have caps, and they're universal.
It's like sparkles in there. So sparkly.
I'm trying to do this upside down and backwards. She's in the position I should be in. And you're going to find that this piece doesn't want to go all the way back until after you get these tightened. This top cap actually squeezes it in a little bit and it fits in there better. And it feels like it's not all the way back, and it really isn't yet. This cap nut is what presses this all in. Side's locked in. Oh, knocked it out again. Keep knocking it out. Assuming that's...
Oh, this is a great angle.
All right. I still got enough thread here, I think. It's got to be pressed in. All right, now I need my wrench, man.
My wrenchy.
Big one over there. This one. Gotta raise up the pig's tail here just to get to this thing. There's a reason why I wasn't a mechanic.
You were a computer fixer.
That's right.
You're in the way.
I'm sorry, but I gotta be here to...
No, I'm talking about this cordy thingy.
I need to be right here. It's pressing in now. Just about got her. That ain't coming off. All right, success. Okay, now we plug the power in here, and it says line up. Let's just show them these two ends. There's pins in there you got to line up, slots. And I'm going to have her use the phone to give me some light here in just a second. So I'm just showing you this temporarily. Okay. I don't know if you can see through. Can you see them on there?
I can't see.
Anyhow, there's two arrows.
Oh, wait, yeah.
There they are. Yep. That have to be lined up. That's how you know. That's the only way you know that it's going in right. Not a good design, in my opinion. All right, let me test run here. Make sure we don't have anything rubbing. Got nothing rubbing on the brakes. So looking pretty good here so far. We were successful after several attempts. Learn from my mistakes, people. All right, moving on. All right, I'm not going to pretend to understand this, but it says once the axle bolt was tightened properly, remove the Allen bolts from the anti-torque washer using an Allen wrench as shown in image 14. So those little Allen nuts right there with the two red circles around them that I tightened up, says remove them. So I guess that's what I'm going to do. Okay, it makes a lot more sense now. The anti-torque washers that I just took off, that it told me to take off, they actually go back on. And what it wants you to do is to put the cable, put the motor cable underneath it, and then you tighten it back down. So it holds it in place, which makes a lot more sense to me. But now I see this after I've got the bike turned back over, so it's going to be hard to show you what they're wanting. They wanted this cable to be underneath this, which I already had it there. Then they told me to take it off. So apparently I did a step a little different, but it was already on there. So these go back on now, and this holds the cable up in there so it doesn't end up getting all chewed up. It's looking a lot more like a bike now, guys. We're going to talk about a couple other things now. This is a folding bike, so it folds right here. There's a latch right there. There's a little safety pin there. You move that one first, and this opens up, and this whole thing will fold. But also, if that 60 amp hour battery ain't enough for you, they sell a 20 amp hour that slides right in this frame as well. And this is a patented frame that they've patented. So it's a nice one. I like how the rear rack is actually welded in part of the frame. And they went ahead and put on the rear fender for us, which is nice. So now we got to put on the fender and the headlight. So that's the next steps before we get to turning anything on. And since I don't have my rear rack, I guess I'll put that seat back there. Next step, we got to put the front headlight and the fender on to the same spot using this bolt right here. So we're going to line these up and make this work. All this fender goes through. I'm assuming it's from the front. It doesn't tell you if you put it in the front or the back. So we're guessing. And then your headlight has to go on it too. Now they're showing in the pictures, the guy using the Allen key on the inside behind here. So I'm putting it in according to how they're showing the picture. And it takes some micro fingers. Yep. I have to grab some little wrench or put. Okay. Looks like it's going to be right. It does. Which one does this take? Not that one. It takes a smaller one. Let's use a different size for every nut on the bike, just to irritate people. Got it. I hope you guys can see all this. I should have got a little bit better lighting here. I waited till the evening. My grandson went to bed, so it'd be a little less chaotic. getting this done. And I'm forcing my granddaughter, slaving her to help me with this.
My arms hurt someone and by suffering.
Oh!
Oh, what happened?
I lost my screw and bolt and then stepped on your foot.
Ow! That hurt.
And it appears to be somewhere in the brake system. Pain and frustration. We got that on there. That had to be the hardest part of the whole bike so far. Now we just got to attach this to this, which I cannot do with one hand. So I'm going to pause this for a second. This is my headlights and horn. As you see there, you see that little triangle? There's a triangle there, and on this side, there's a reverse triangle. There's what you have to line up when you're plugging in your headlight. Here, I'm at the step where I'm supposed to put my pedals on, because I put them on a long time ago. You see how these say Wallke on them? That is not what I have. That is not what they sent to me. And it said, look for the pedals with the marking L and R on them. And of course, put them in the right place. These have no markings whatsoever on them anywhere. And they're not Wallke. These must just be some generic brand they sent me. So that's a little disappointing for the most expensive bike they have to get cheap pedals. But anyhow, I put them on. I mean, it didn't tell. There's no way to tell which is which, so they're just on there. One's a threaded on reverse, one thread's normal. So they're on. We're moving on to the next step. Check the chain alignment. Rotate the pedal and crank toward the back of the bike as though pedaling backwards. Watch the chain and ensure the chain runs through the drivetrain, the rear cog chain tensioner, and around the front chain, chaining smoothly. So that's what we're going to do here. I don't see any problem there so far. Looks good. Next step, finally to the back seat. Loosen the clamp screw using screwdriver. They're showing, okay, they're showing that screw in the back side there, so that'll be the rear. So flip the seat over and you can see right here is where the screw is. So we get this one-handed here. Loosen the clamp screw using a screwdriver. Push the rear seat down forward to the direction as shown in the below picture. All right. You got more than loosen that screw. You're going to have to take it out. I don't have a place for that screw to go into. You absolutely have to take that screw out to get it in. And you just press down on it and kind of pound it forward a little bit and it snaps into place. So now I've got to reach up under there, which is probably going to be fun to get this screw back in. And this is what will lock it in place. Okay, so got the screw up under. It wasn't too bad. As long as you have a long enough screwdriver, you'll be okay. It wasn't near as hard as that front fender and headlight. The battery keys unlock power on and off. Looks like that's going to be a step for tomorrow. As you see, it's still red. We're still charging. So I'm going to let this get fully charged. I'm going to finish up these last steps, and then we'll boot this thing up tomorrow. All right, thanks guys. Thanks for watching. So good. To say this is, I'm trying to find out if this is something feasible that people about my age or even older that have some health problems, you know, something they can do. You know, it's hard enough just putting this together. I mean, it took me 2.5 hours to get this far, guys. I imagine if you knew what you was doing, I mean, if you've done this before, you could whiz through it fairly quick, half hour, something like that, to an hour. But I had no clue on a lot of this, and a lot of it just doesn't make sense because I've never seen it before. But next time I'll know. Next time I'll be able to do it better. But I'll be out test riding this, and we're going to give this some time to see if I can actually start getting some of this weight off. So that's what this is all about. I'm looking forward to it. You see, this does have right here. I got this printed out. So we have on the rear hub, it's a 1,000 watt motor that peaks at 1,600 watts. And the front motor is a 750 watt that peaks at 1,200 watts. Yeah, this is showing the battery for 40 amp. I actually have the 60 amp option with an 8 amp charger. This comes with the GPS tracking, any theft. Where's my bike? Yeah, that Apple Find, yeah. It's got a 1,000 lumen front headlight. Tail light's integrated. So I haven't even looked at that yet. Sorry about the noise that's coming from that charger over there. See if there's any other little tidbits here. So this thing can hold up to 400 pounds. It's got a 400 pound payload. The top speed is approximately 33 to 34, and that's what I've seen people doing on the web with these. Your back seat, you can hold up to 110 pounds. Definitely long range, yeah. See, it says your recommended rider height. Now, if you're using the 40 amp, it's 5'4" to 6'4", but the 60 amp is 5'10" to 6'4", and I'll tell you what, I got everything as low as I can get it, and I'm tippy-toeing it. So I must not be 5'10" anymore, which doesn't surprise me. Probably lost a little bit. That's common for older folks. Hydraulic suspension with lock adjustment controls. You see there? It's got the rear shock, double rear suspension. I don't believe there's any adjustment on these. We'll see how they feel. I've already tested out the brakes. They feel fine. Test them out a little better when we get out on the ride. It's the 20-inch tires, 20x4 all-terrains. They have inner tubes in these. 20x4 inner tubes, the Schrader valve. Rear derailleur's a Shimano 7-speed rear shift system. This thickened frame, thickened alloy, 6061 aluminum alloy. So it's not all that heavy. I picked this up using that handle right there, and it's not bad at all to move around. 140 pounds. That's a heavy bike with that battery in there, guys. Dual motors, all-wheel drive system, selectable drive control. There's your different modes. So you can just go rear wheel. I mean, you can switch off the front if you like. You can run just the front, or you can run both. Some mag wheels instead of spokes. See there? 4-piston hydraulic disc brakes. These are 4-piston. I didn't think I mentioned that. Yep, 4-piston. And of course, these are 203 millimeter. Big boys. Smarter display with Apple Find, alert GPS tracking app. And this is their patented frame. Wallke patented frame. And it's foldable. So I can take this, put it in the back of the vehicle if we go on trips, and take it with me. It'd be nice. Yeah, we ended up with an 8 amp fast charger, which I'm happy to hear about that. The only thing I'm not happy about is it didn't come with my freebies that I was promised. $300 worth of freebies, a helmet, the camo bag, and the back rack. So hopefully that's on its way. If not, we're gonna have to contact Wallke and find out. They seem like some pretty decent people. I talked to them, my wife talked to them, and we both got Wolf. So I don't know if he does all the communications, but he's a super nice guy to deal with. And you know, everything I've seen on these bikes, these are super bikes, guys. And I'll let you know for sure when I get out there riding on it. You know, there's definitely going to be easier bikes for people in our condition, you know, that have issues with their feet and ankles and knees and things like that, and hips. You could get one that has the, you know, the V style in it. I actually almost got one of those, but I wanted to get something that had the extra travel capacity. I could go farther if I wanted to go farther. We plan on getting bikes for the whole family, so we'll probably end up getting a couple of those down the road. But for now, I went with this one because I wanted to be able to fold it up, take it on trips. I mean, they do make the V style. Also, it's a different model number. I have to look it up and see what that is. But they also have one with a dual motor, so it's probably nearly as powerful as this one. this is one I decided to go with because it's folded up, because it has the front and rear drive. It's got the bigger headlamp on it. Thing goes fast right out of the box. Everything about it I like. I hope I can handle it. We'll find out. So for now, we're going to log off and we'll talk to you again tomorrow after we get this booted up. The battery is done charging. Got it slipped back in there. This is the next morning. Seat back on it. I got this seat about as low as you can go, and my feet barely touch at this point. Now you got to put your key in there. Turn it to the on position to be straight up and down. Let's see if we fire up here. Hold in the power button. Ah, there we go. Okay, right now it's showing it's in rear wheel. Battery is 100% charged. If you go over here to the eye, click that, that takes you to the front. Gotta hold it in actually. Now there's both wheel drive. 0. I actually watched people ride it on that. It's a both wheel drive, but it's just a you just go slower. I guess that's the best way to put it. There's your rear wheel. I'll probably keep it in this to start off because I got a lot of hills around here. All right, so then we got your light. Nice bright light. Let's see if our brake light works here. Oh, we do. There's our running light. And if you can see this, I'm gonna hold the brake in. Oh yeah, brakes work. Over here, everybody ready? Got the horn? I did pick up some bells for the bike trail, so I'm gonna put a bell on this. I'm gonna put the phone holder on this yet, and I got some saddlebags and stuff to put on it. Let's see. Now we're in power assist 0 right now, so if you push the up, you're in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we have 5 power assist levels. And if you keep pushing this eye, it just cycles through. Shows your average speed that somebody was doing, how long they rode it for the test drive. It has 0.7 miles on it at this point. The positive and negative, yeah. Now you're in the settings. So you just hold the positive and negative down for a couple seconds and it takes you into the settings. And then, yeah, the minus just scrolls you down. Let's go into advanced settings here. Let's see if you push I. Yeah, you push I is enter. So positive and negative held down gets you into the screen. I is the enter. Assist level 0 through 5. Current limit, I'm going to leave that where it's at. Not really sure what that means. Speed sensor. Most of these I think you're going to leave them where they go. Now you can reset this start strength to your liking. If it's taken off too weak, you can raise that number. If it's too slow, you can lower it. Sensitivity has something to do with that as well. To go into the booklet here and see what that means. You got reset to defaults. Password. Now you can't put a password on, which is not a bad idea if you're living in an area where you got a lot of population and a lot of thefts going on. You might want to put a password on that. That shows what mode of motor we're in right now. We're in rear. By default, I think it starts off with that. Now you can set this to front, rear, or both motors. And I push both buttons down to get back out of that. Let's just go up to display settings, take a peek at that real quick. Trip reset. Okay, this is set at 24 inch. Wonder why that is. It's not set at 20, it's set at 24. I'm sure there's a reasoning for that, so I'm going to leave it there. Speed limit 62 mile per hour. So right out of the box, this thing is set probably at the max limits here. Your voltage limit. Yeah, the brightness of your headlight. You got it up to 100%. Not sure what that is, or that right now. That's that. Let's go down and just see what information's all about. The software version of the display screen. There's what that is. So we'll just get out of this, push both buttons again, and there's a back button there again, and then you go down to exit. There, we're back to the original screen. So yeah, I mean, it starts you off in rear-wheel drive, which is probably fine. If you're on fairly level ground, that's probably where you start off most of the time. In my case, I will be taken off, you know, because of the hills I have here. I don't know, it may work in rear wheel. That's the next test. We'll see what rear wheel drive can actually do, if it can get me up our steep hills here or not. If it can't, then we'll put it in both wheel. And test out the pedal assists and all these things here in our next video. So, if you want to stick around to see how this goes for this old fat man, then be watching for the next video. It'll be coming shortly. As far as the rest of this video, I think we're about completed. Next video will be out riding on it. And you actually get I'll be the guinea pig. You'll get to walk along with me as I'm riding this, and hopefully you're going to watch me start losing some weight. Because I am going to pedal it. I ain't just going to throttle it. I do want to say this for all those of you that's older and has problems with their joints, knees and such. You probably do want to get a step-through version. It's the ones that's got the V right in there. It's no longer just for girls. A lot of people ride those, and a lot of people, it's healthy, ride them just for the simple reason it's a lot easier to get on. This one, I do have to swing my leg up over. I got to tilt the bike to get on it. It's a little bit of a pain, but I got this for other reasons. I got it because it's a folding bike. I got it because it's so well built. I got it because of the 60 amp hour battery. And I'm planning on getting in shape, so I'm planning on loosening up and stretching, and you guys get to go along with me on this process of watching this old man hopefully get a couple years back on his life. Got grandkids to take care of now. We adopted, so they want me to stick around. So for those of you that get to that point in your life where it's time to get something done, I think this is going to be a good option. But you're going to get to watch and see if it is or not. Turn this off. Just hold that power button in and it goes back off. Good buddy Jackson, he's checking out the bike this morning. I did want to get a weight on this battery. So let's pull this thing out. Oops, I gotta put the key in and unlock it here first. Okay, let's take a look at this. Set this on my scale. I think it goes up high enough. 28 pounds. That's a heavy battery, guys.